Okay, this one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, Me with My Boyfriend of 2 Years. He took nude pictures of me with a hidden camera in our bathroom. I, 27, female, have been with my boyfriend, 29, male, for just over 2 years, and up until a couple of weeks ago, I thought everything was going great. We've been living together for over a year. We had disagreements about minor things like every couple. Me being indecisive about what restaurant to go to, him leaving his dirty clothes outside the hamper, stuff like that. But for the most part, we always got along really well. We share multiple hobbies and have pretty much spent every day we had off together for the last 2 years. A few weeks ago, I was at home while he was at work. I needed to work on a project for work that would be much easier to complete on his desktop computer rather than my little cramped laptop. So, I texted him and asked if it would be okay for me to use his desktop. He said sure and texted me the password. About 30 minutes later, I got a little bored and decided to check my Facebook. When the site came up, the email and password were already filled out with an email address I'd never seen before. For I knew about other email addresses my boyfriend had, but had never seen this one. I'm not proud to admit it, but something about the email address that I'd never seen after 2 years together gave me a funny feeling, and I snooped. As soon as I opened it, I realized why he kept this email account under wraps. The inbox was full of messages from a website specifically for people looking to have affairs. I opened one up, and it allowed me to view his account information. The mysterious inbox was also filled with porn, mostly still images. Now, I like porn. I watch it myself. He knows that, and he knows I have no problem with it. But this was something different. There were some pictures of porn stars, but mostly pictures of girls in swimsuits. People we know that looked like they'd been taken from Facebook, including some of my really close friends. There were pictures of girls he had taken on the bus, surreptitiously looking down their shirts. There were naked pictures of me that I didn't know he'd taken, pictures of me in the shower and in our bedroom. Finally, there were pictures of a female friend of his that had visited for a few days that clearly had been taken in our bathroom. The shower curtain and other items in the picture were recognizable. It was apparent that the pictures had been taken without her knowledge. At this point, I felt completely sick and betrayed. When I confronted him that night, he told me it was some kind of addictive problem, and he's been saving pictures of women for years. I confronted him about everything I had seen, especially the account on the cheating site, the naked pictures of his friend that had been taken in our bathroom, and the naked pictures of me that I hadn't consented to him taking. As it turns out, he admitted that he had a hidden camera in our bathroom for weeks. It was disguised as a flash drive, and he left it on the counter, pointed at the shower and toilet. Apparently, it was motion sensitive and would take pictures whenever someone moved in front of it. He said he didn't have any other pictures from it other than what I'd seen, and just compulsively saves pictures he takes by sending them to his email address that I'd found and never looks at them again. What is this? Is it a fetish? Is it curable? He said he would get help and start going to SLA meetings, but he only went to 3 and hasn't been back. I feel violated and sick thinking about this and welcome any advice or input from anyone who's been in a similar situation. Edit. To those saying I should report him to the police, he deleted all of the pictures in the email address the first night that I confronted him about it, and I destroyed the camera. Rage overcomes logic sometimes. I'm not planning to file any report to the police, and even if I did, there would be no evidence. However, I appreciate your comments and for reinforcing how serious this is.
Yeah, no crap.
This is serious. Let's see what the comments think. Not only is this absolutely disgusting, but it's illegal. Can you imagine how violated your friend would feel if she knew? This is horrifying, and it's a huge indicator of other criminal behavior. This isn't just a fetish. This is verging on sexual assault. You have to tell his friend. This is a sex crime. You shouldn't move forward with this guy. You should turn him into the cops. He compulsively saves the pictures but never looks at them again. Just think about that for a second and ask yourself whether you believe him. His incredibly harmful and violating compulsion just came to light. Do you honestly think you're going to get the whole truth out of him? Of course not. He's going to give enough half-truths to somewhat explain what you found, and then he's going to lie and do damage control to try and salvage the situation and prevent you from finding out more. You don't go to those links to secretly photograph and violate your girlfriend, house guests, and strangers just to let the pictures go unseen in some email account. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if those pictures were public on the web. This must be incredibly hard. And I imagine you want to believe him and are trying to reconcile the boyfriend you thought you knew with what you just discovered. I would be very, very distrustful of anything he says about the situation. Opia replies, "Thanks for your comment. As for the whole truth, at first, when I confronted him, he told me that he'd already gotten rid of the camera. However, once he described it to me, I remembered seeing it in the closet and went and got it. He hadn't gotten rid of it after all. He already showed that he's definitely capable of lying to try to protect himself." Another comment says, "Why would you want to stay? You can't trust him. Did you delete the photos of you? Was he cheating the entire relationship? Not that it would have any impact on you staying or leaving. I'd leave regardless. Just curious if he's been doing this the entire time." Op replies, "I'm having a hard time writing this in a way that doesn't make me sound pathetic and weak because, logically, I completely agree with you. It's hard for me to reconcile the person that I thought I knew for 2 years and have shared many good times and made lots of memories with the person that would do something like this, even though obviously they're one and the same. To answer your other question, he has had the email address and has been saving pictures for years, long before I met him. However, it appeared that all of the pictures up until about 6 months ago were from porn sites, and he only started saving pictures of people that he took more recently. How long since she found the camera? 2 weeks. Thanks for the response. Given the horrible red flags, why not immediately dump him? That's what I'm curious about. I don't know. You're any better than what you've posted, but you're better than this." Op to which Opia replies, "I know you're right. It's tough because we live together, so there's a whole life we have to tear apart from a logistical standpoint, even though it's already been torn apart in a different way. I expect that you'll be appalled by this response, but the thought of coming to this apartment without him here has been unbearably sad to me. I guess I'm not really grieving the loss of this guy, more like the loss of the relationship I thought we had before I found all this out. If that makes any sense. I need to stop making excuses and just get him out of here." Yeah, good. It seems like Opie knows what she has to do here. Let's go to an update. First of all, thank you to everyone who replied to my original post. Some of you came down pretty hard on me, but I needed to hear it. Some of you were incredibly kind, and I needed that too. I finally broke down and told my closest friend what had happened. I used my original post to help me do it since I was having a tough time explaining it aloud. She read the story and said many of the same things I was told in the comments on my original thread. Most of all, she supported me and validated my feelings that this was a really big deal and not something that could be swept under the rug and forgotten. It was a huge relief to tell her. You know, that thing people say about a huge weight lifted off your shoulders? Well, I know how that feels now. Before I made my post, I'd already been talking with my then boyfriend about how I wasn't sure if our relationship could recover after what he had done. I told him that I wanted him to move out to give me space. After my post and after finally opening up to my friend, I told him that he should plan on the move and break up being permanent. Up until then, I'd been a little vague about taking a break and just seeing what happens down the road. But once I faced down my emotions about what he had done, I realized that I was just trying to soften the blow, and the best thing to do was to live in reality and just move forward. As of 2 days ago, he has officially moved out. I told my family that the relationship was over, and my parents have been incredibly supportive. They're even going to help me pay to keep living in my current apartment so I can take my time finding another place to live and not have to deal with moving right now. Here's the part you guys probably won't be thrilled about. I'm not going to report him to the police. I did, however, reach out to his friend, the one who was an unknowing victim of this, via Facebook. I know I hate Facebook as a means of communication too, but it's the only way I have to contact her. She's not replied to me and I don't know if she will, but I gave her my contact info and asked her to call me so we could talk. I honestly can't say whether I hope she calls or not because I absolutely dread having that conversation with her. But guys, if I'm able to get in touch, I will suck it up and tell her. I also told my ex-boyfriend before he left that I thought he should tell her himself, but that I planned to. So he may have spoken to her already, though I sincerely doubt it. I wish for my ex-boyfriend to get well and to continue attending meetings and get into the recovery process to the point that he's able to live a productive life. It's been a sad, painful path for me to realize the fact that the life will not include me as part of it. But despite how hard this is in the moment, I believe the ends justify the means. Some final comments. I'm glad to see the update and that you rid yourself of him. I'm very disappointed that you didn't file a police report. He will do it again, and by not reporting him, you're allowing someone else to get hurt the same way you were. Crime victims are not morally obligated to press charges in order to prevent future victims. The only person responsible for his deplorable behavior is her ex-boyfriend. Op replies, "Thank you." People really latched onto the police involvement issue in this thread, and while I think it's probably the right thing for other people in similar situations, it's absolutely not the right thing for me right now. I hope other people who have been in a situation like this read your comment too, because I think it's spot on. But it's easy to forget that, yeah, it makes a good point. That's for sure. What do you guys think? Do you think OP should have gone to the police about this? I personally think it was probably at least worth a mention, even if nothing came of it. But yeah, let me know. Okay, on to another story. We're still on relationships. This one was written by user JW28JSL and it's titled, Boyfriend and his sister-in-law sneaked at the beach at 3 a.m. Okay, so last night that happened. We've been together for a year. We were visiting his parents' house who lived by the beach, and his brother was also there with his wife. We stayed there last night, and at around 3 a.m., I was half asleep and noticed that he's leaving the room. I thought he's probably going to the bathroom or something. I heard some noises from downstairs, and I wasn't paying attention until I saw from the window that he's going out to the beach with his brother's wife. They came back about an hour later. I still haven't confronted him and was wondering what this could mean. What was it that they needed to do? I don't know what to think. Is it something that I can be said about sneaking around at night? It isn't cool in my opinion. Yeah, this could be a number of different things, and not a lot of them are really great for their relationship. Let's go to the comments. Here is how you handle this. Hey, boyfriend. I woke up when you got out of bed last night and thought you went to the bathroom, but I checked my phone 20 minutes later and you weren't back. I must have dozed off before you got back. Where did you go, sweetheart? If he lies to you and his answer is based on the facts that you already know, then I think it's time to dig deeper. Make sure all four are present. Ask them in a non-accusational tone what they were doing so late, being gone for an hour in the night. Pay close attention to their facial expressions. I'm very surprised you didn't follow them. It could have a range of interpretations, from a crazy idea to wanting to be alone on the beach. OP says, I wanted to, but they locked the front door behind them, and I didn't have the key. This is a new one to me. Do tell, how do you get locked in a house? OP says, the lock has keyholes in both sides. I imagine my in-laws lock the doors at night and keep the key somewhere inside, and my boyfriend had a spare key, so he opened it, got out, and locked it back. But what if there's a fire? I once went on a couple of dates with a guy. On our second date, he invited me over to his house to watch a movie. When it was time to leave, it turned out that the door was locked from the inside, and it took him about 10 minutes to track down the key. I never went on another date with that guy again. Yeah, locked from the inside. That's a scary thought. Let's go to the update. Hey again. As much as I wanted to tell you all that it was over, nothing, that they just wanted to get some air or smoke some weed or something. Not the case. They were indeed banging. I asked my boyfriend about it. Didn't mention that I saw him go out with her, just that I saw him leave the bed and come back later. He told me that he just went to pee and then saw his dad in the kitchen who couldn't sleep, and they had a chat for a while. Liar. I asked his sister-in-law immediately after that, did I just see you from the window for a second? Was I just imagining it since I was half asleep? Or did she go out alone that time of night? She said that she enjoys midnight breaths and alone walks on the beach. Liar again. I told his brother that I saw them leave. He told me that they enjoy long walks on the beach and he couldn't be bothered to go with them. I thought, liar. So, apparently, they gave each other their heads up since my boyfriend came to me and told me everything an hour later. Him and his brother like sharing their girlfriends and significant others. He's been banging his sister-in-law for years now. That night was just another moment. He told me that he wanted to tell me when the time is right or when he thought I'm prepared, so that I can join in and sleep with his brother, so they don't even need to sneak around. He wasn't even admitting that it was cheating, saying that it doesn't count since it's his sister-in-law, not some random girl. I don't even know what to say to that. He called me traditional for thinking it was cheating. Yeah, I consider having sex with anyone else cheating. Call me traditional. So, I broke up with him and left him to deal with his weird crap with his brother, and I'm actually happier now. The thought of what he was up to all those times grosses me out completely. He can himself. We wanted to go on a holiday together, and now I'm going to go have fun with my cousins instead. What the hell did I just read? That's got to be the most bizarre excuse for justifying cheating. It's his sister-in-law, so it doesn't count. What? Let's read some final comments. I love that he said it's not cheating because it's his sister-in-law. WEF. That is literally the craziest statement I've ever seen. Not to mention it's pretty effed up to have this arrangement. Get a girlfriend and keep it secret until you think she's ready to exchange significant others and have sex with the brother. How the hell are you going to assume that your girlfriend is going to be down with doing it when you finally explain the arrangement? Op replies, he thought he was preparing me for it slowly. Do take the time to go get checked out for STDs. Opie says, I have an appointment for tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to make sure everyone knows their crap if he's given me something. Their parents don't know. They will if I have an STD. Don't let anger and revenge control your actions. Also, remember that the girl has done you no harm, so disclosing her secret might not be fair to her. Opie says, she's done me no harm. She had sex with my boyfriend, God knows how many times behind my back while knowing I wouldn't be okay with it, and she lied to me about it face to face. F her. They were effing his brother knew it was their thing. They wanted me involved too. No way. We broke up. F them all. Yeah, I think a sensible conclusion for Opie to come to. What do you guys think about that one? Let me know down below. Anyway, on to another one. Okay, jumping over to TR of my chest. This one was written by a throwaway account and is titled, It was revealed that my dad has a secret other family, and now there's drama. The story is that my dad had a child with another woman shortly after he married my mom, but before I was born. My brother that I didn't know is about 32. I'm 28, female, and my younger brothers are 26 and 24. My dad gave the other woman money over the years, and her and my brother knew my dad was married and had a family, but none of us knew about them. The only reason my brother, 32, revealed the secret is because his son needs a bone marrow transplant, and they're looking for a match, and anyone with blood relation is the best chance for one. My mom feels betrayed, obviously, and I doubt their marriage will survive. But I hate all the drama and gossiping that is happening in my family. I hate drama in general, and this is like my worst nightmare. Wow, a 32-year-old coming to the forefront because of a bone marrow transplant. That's a first. Let's go to the comments. What are we more interested in knowing is, did they find a bone marrow match for the kid? Opie said, we only found out about my brother and my dad's secret family 2 days ago. Well, fair enough, and I totally understand that this is life-changing news for you and your family, but I'd still like to know if your kids are going to try to save the kid's life or not. Opie says, I'm disqualified as a donor because I've had cancer, but my younger brothers and my uncle and my cousins said they'll get tested. I would too if I could. How is your mom doing? How are you feeling? Opie says, my mom is devastated. She went to stay with my grandmother and my great-great-aunt. I'm torn between worried about her, angry at my dad, and worried about my nephew. So all over the place. If the family had gotten tested to see if there's a match, well, my dad did get tested a while back. My dad hasn't asked anyone to do anything or put anything on us. My brother came to us against Dad's will. Someone asks, how did your brother get in contact with you? Did he find you on Facebook? Did he get your number from Dad? Or did Dad refuse or try to block him from contacting you? Opie said he hired a private investigator. He contacted us against my dad's will. Dad had told him not to contact us, but this wasn't a normal situation where he just wanted to tell us for fun. It was because his son's life is at stake. He's only met my dad twice before this, once when he was in college, and the second time for my dad to be tested to see if he was a match. Dad isn't on the birth certificate and wasn't involved in his life at all, so it's not as though my brother knew where to find us. Okay, folks, on to the update. I forgot about this post for a bit because everything was crazy. I want to thank everyone who posted kind and supportive comments towards me and my family. My mom divorced my dad. She could not get past the infidelity and didn't believe my dad that it was only a one-time indiscretion. She was devastated when she found out. She's doing better now, but it still hurts sometimes. They were married for 34 years, so it's been a big adjustment for her. Regarding my nephew, it turned out that while no one in my family is a match, my brothers, my uncle, and my cousins all got tested. Then, the girlfriend, now fiancée of my cousin, was a match. She agreed to be a donor. It was a complete fluke because she isn't genetically related to my nephew, but she's given him a second chance and had no hesitation about agreeing to donate. Everything went as well as it could have, and my nephew is doing great. We've been getting to know my brother, his wife, and my nephew. My brother has only met or talked to my dad twice in his life. Once when he was in university and once to tell my dad that my nephew needed a bone marrow donor. Total time for both meetings together was less than 30 minutes. My dad was never involved in his life and was against my brother contacting us. We don't care what my dad says, though. My brother wasn't trying to get money or anything from us. It was just about trying to save the nephew. Thanks again for all the supportive comments. Okay, guys, and that's the end of that story. Yeah, great to hear that the kid's doing well, but yeah, ultimately, a big secret like that will eventually come to the surface, and this was no exception, that's for sure. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts about that one. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed those stories. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.